Hey, what is going on, Guardians? TBL here, and today we're sitting down just to talk with you about the Crimson Doubles live event overall, kind of how we feel about it, its place in Destiny 2, and how we'd like to see events improving moving forward. Now, I don't usually get into stuff like a Destiny 2 event review, but I felt it was kind of important because of some of the conversations going on within the community right now. And I believe having conversations about these events, about the state of the game and how it's constantly changing and in flux. We do have a roadmap going forward for some changes that are hopefully going to bring Destiny 2 back into the sort of light that it needs to find itself in. But in the meantime, we do have these events, and I do believe it's important to talk about them. So that's what we're going to be doing today, talking a bit about the Crimson Doubles live event. And overall, if you want the too long didn't read version, I believe Crimson Days has been the best overall event in Destiny 2 thus far. And curiously enough, it has very little to do with the Crimson Doubles event in and of itself. It has very little to do with the Crimson Doubles game mode in PvP. And the reason for that is this. Within this event, you can earn the Crimson Days special items by playing virtually anything. If you want to go and run strikes, you can earn these engrams by doing that. If you want to just go and do lost sectors for some reason, you can earn the engrams doing that. If you want to play normal PvP, either competitive or quick play, you can play virtually whatever you want and still earn all of the rewards, or at least almost all of the rewards outside of the milestone ones that require you to go and play specific things. There's only like 4 or 5 of those, but everything else can basically be earned by doing exactly what you want to do in the game. And I think that is an incredible way, that's the exact way that events like this in Destiny 2 need to move forward. Giving players who may not want to spend too much time in a 2v2 PvP mode the option to just go and run public events in order to get their Crimson Engram rewards is a much better way of moving through things, rather than saying, okay, well, in order to get this stuff for this event, you have to run this game mode and only this game mode. Or, head over to your girl Tess Everest and spend a little bit of that bright dust on some special engrams. None of that this time around, and I believe that is the perfect way to move forward. I always bring up the Dawning in these sorts of examples because the Dawning was a big event with all this, cool new armor and these cool new glamour items and even a cool sword and whatnot, but you can only get it from specific things. And for me, if you're somebody with bad RNG like me, I only got like maybe 1 or 2 pieces of armor. It was like the helmet on my warlock and then like gauntlets on my hunter, and that was it. So I missed out on some of the biggest things of that event, and that was something that I played almost every day of the Dawning being in effect, and that didn't feel too good. And thankfully, that is not the way things are moving now with the Crimson Days event, because alongside this whole play whatever you want to earn rewards thing is, of course, their new knockout list idea, where basically, just like with exotics and the dupe protection that goes on with the exotic engram you can buy from Xur, this knockout list mentality for the Crimson Engrams is partially dupe protected. It's going to try to give you something new every time you open up that engram until you've earned everything that can drop from those engrams. Then you'll start getting duplicates of the items that you've already gotten. I think that's an incredible system because it incentivizes people to actually play this event, again, alongside being able to play whatever they want in order to earn these things. And it gives you a pretty good opportunity to earn all of the new exclusive things within that 1-week time frame. This is absolutely the system I would like to see for stuff like Festival of the Lost if that comes back, and especially the Dawning for next year, or whatever other events that the live team can come up with. And so yes, the structure of this event is very good, and you guys know me, I very much believe in giving praise to Bungie, or really to anyone, whenever praise is due. And the way they've revamped events to work with this Crimson Days event is definitely a step in the right direction. Even when it comes to stuff like the Eververse, you can't buy Crimson Engrams at the Eververse store. There's no loot boxes that are tied to this right now. Instead, what you can do is go straight to Tess and buy direct items rather than an engram with a chance to get an item. For the Crimson Days, you can actually just go and buy the direct item that you want from Tess. And while I'm still not a big fan of microtransactions in my games, I very much prefer just being able to go say, okay, well, I haven't had any luck, or I haven't been able to get this shader or this ornament. Let me just go spend money directly towards that thing rather than having to buy a loot box with a very small chance of giving me exactly what I want. That's a much better system. And if the microtransaction store has to be a thing moving forward, I much prefer that direct purchase to buying a chance at a chance of an item. So overall, this event, it's pretty good. It's definitely a step up from the Dawning and the Faction Rally and even the Iron Banner, even though that was the last Iron Banner was a much better setup than what we've had before. The Crimson Days event is definitely the best that we've had in terms of Destiny 2 thus far. Now, that being said, doesn't mean there aren't some problems with it. When it comes to the rewards, it's all basically cosmetic stuff. So if you're somebody who was looking for, new exclusive weapons or maybe a new exclusive Crimson Days armor set, none of that's going to be there for you. And if we're being perfectly honest, if you're somebody who's disenfranchised with Destiny 2 right now, somebody who does not enjoy the core gameplay, who does not enjoy the team shooting meta in PvP, well, you're definitely not going to enjoy Crimson Doubles because it's literally team shoot, the game mode. You have to be literally hugging your teammate's butt at all times, maximum hand-holding in that game mode if you want to succeed in it. But thankfully, you don't have to play it if you want the Crimson Engram rewards. You do have to play it if you want to get the milestone or if you want to get a chance at the exotic sparrow. But as I was saying, if you're somebody who's disenfranchised with Destiny 2 right now and you're looking at Crimson Days and saying, oh, is this going to be something to bring me back? It's not. And I think that's just being perfectly honest. There's nothing really there in the Crimson Days event that addresses a lot of the core problems of Destiny 2, and I think anybody who looks at it as being something like that is bound to be disappointed if they jump back on and they play some Crimson Doubles and they think, okay, well, this is pretty cool, but it's still the same game. We're probably not going to be getting any real sandbox changes for another month or so. I do believe that's slated for like March 27th, so next month, and that's kind of a long time to wait, but at the very least they are coming. We did hear a little bit from John Wisniewski on Twitter, talking a bit about some exotic weapon changes that we might be seeing sometime soon. He took to the platform to tweet out some insane gunfights between Skyburner and Graviton in today's exotic update PvP playtest, showing that, those guns are getting an exotic pass and hopefully are going to be a little bit stronger. It doesn't really tell us too much about what's going on there, but our good buddy Mesa Sean was quick to respond, increase in Graviton's explosion from the cosmology perk, to which John Wisniewski retorted, increase is one way to put it. So, hopefully those guns are going to be seeing a pass, but I bring that up just to say that right now, it's still sandbox changes that are going to be the thing that makes or breaks a comeback for Destiny 2. And while overall the Crimson Days event is definitely it's definitely a great event in the scheme of Destiny 2. I've had a lot of fun playing. I'd even enjoyed a little bit of the 2v2 game mode. And I very much appreciate that I can go and really do anything, especially just running public events. By the way, that's still the fastest way to earn Crimson Engrams. If you're popping your buffs and all that kind of stuff, just go run public events. You'll have plenty of Crimson Engrams before you know it. But even with all that kind of stuff, like I said, if you're somebody who isn't really feeling Destiny 2 right now, there's really nothing here to kind of bring you back. And while I think the Crimson Days event as a whole is a pretty good way to move forward, next time I would like to see a few other things added in. I do like the fact that we've got ships and sparrows and all that kind of stuff, but I'd love to see some like Crimson Days armor or some Crimson Days ornaments or some Crimson Days themed weapons and whatnot. And maybe not just reskins, but some completely new models, or shoot, even bring some of the 300 plus models we had back in Destiny 1 back and throw some paint on those. I'll take that. And if I could just make like one crazy suggestion, I do definitely miss the Super Saiyan buff you used to get back in the original Crimson Days event, like the dearly departed thing that supercharged you when your teammate died. I think this whole getting your cooldowns faster if you're hugging each other is it's pretty appropriate for the game mode, but please, could us PvE players get a little bit some of that love too? I see no reason why the Crimson Days sort of buff couldn't apply to fire teams of 3 in strikes. Wouldn't it be awesome if we could just run, instead of doing the 2v2 game mode, we could just go into heroic strikes and still have that buff active when we're near our fire team members and popping all of our abilities in unison. We just get our cooldowns back super duper quickly. I just don't see a reason for why that couldn't have been a thing on the PvE half of things, and I hope the next time we either get Crimson Days or another event that has special modifiers and stuff like this, I hope that it's equally applied in some way to PvE as well as PvP. At least if it's applicable, and I think it's definitely applicable in this situation. But there we go, Guardians. That's pretty much it for this one. Again, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Crimson Days event. Overall, I think it's a pretty good event. I would definitely like to see it. If nothing else can be taken from this event, I want them to take the knockout system for these Eververse engrams and for these reward engrams from events and apply that to basically every event moving forward. That is definitely, if there's one great thing that they can pull from this, and there's a lot of great things about Crimson Days, pull that system to all events moving forward. It's a great change, and I hope the Crimson Days event sets a new standard for Destiny events moving forward. And hopefully, maybe even sometime soon, for even those people who don't feel like playing the game right now, maybe there'll be a reason for you to come back. But alright, Guardians, those are my thoughts. Be sure to let me know yours down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on all of the latest Destiny 2 news. But anyways, I'm out for now. Thanks so much for watching. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.